everybody, guys and gals. I've been waiting a whole week to get at this one. This one's going to be a really fun job. This one comes from the Great Lakes state of Michigan, which I call the Big Mitten. Somewhere in the mid-60s. I got the serial number down as 36553, and it's really similar to one that I did a year ago. It's almost exact. That one was a 66. But they're made in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I call it the Big Mitten because if you look at Michigan, it looks like a big mitten. And Kalamazoo's like down here. This one has a plastic bridge that's about ready to give way, so he brought it on in for a new bridge. And also, we're going to do a fret level and polish. Once the frets get dented and flattened on the tops, I like to level them down, get rid of the dents, and you can see that's a big old dent right there. Yeah, recrown them and polish them all shiny smooth. It sounds great. We'll play it now and we'll play it later and compare. I'll play the same two chords later. We'll see if it sounds any better. It probably won't be a massive improvement in tone. These plastic bridges didn't sound that bad. The thing that's great about these old guitars, and someone mentioned it in the other video from last year, is that this old growth mahogany wood that was harvested back in the 60s was from really big logs that had a lot of stability to them. The stuff that they're cutting down these days isn't from the same region, Honduras, Brazil. Everything's kind of warped, kind of bent out of shape. Let's take a look. Let's look through the sound hole. Here you can see the 4 fasteners and the bridge plate on the inside of the guitar that is a softwood. It looks like a piece of spruce, and that's why it's really chewed up. On the more expensive models, they use a hardwood bridge plate, maple or rosewood. This one's going to get a hard rock maple patch over the top of those, all that tear out. Let's back them screws out and take the bridge off. Yeah, it's 1/4 inch. The wrench itself is slightly oversized. It's a 1/4 inch. Machine screw, that's what it is, a 1/4 inch machine screw. Take all these out. There. So the lacquer finish is all through here. We have the wood, it's a little cracked. This is all getting filled in. I do have one of these replacement bridges here. The holes line up fine. It does cover the footprint okay. I'd have to plug this if I want to use this one. This one, the old one is, gee, a little over a 1/4 inch thick. This one's more around 3/8. I have a loose back brace. It's only loose on the treble side, but that's fixable. The other thing I can do is take the pickguard off to see if it has a suntan line. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Not too bad. It's in good shape. One of the things we looked at was taking this out. He thought this would be a good place for it, but it turns out it is not a good place because this guitar falls right off the strap. I'm going to take that out, plug that hole, and move it over here. I mentioned that this is probably a bad place for it too because of unless you pre-drill the hole very accurately, this screw could cause the neck block to crack. So that wasn't a great idea, but let's take that out. This one uses a 3mm hex wrench. Can't say I've seen that before. How bizarre, how bizarre. This might take a while. Guitar has some beautiful checking lines on it. There's my little clamping system for the back brace. 2 clamps on the inside and then a cam clamp on the outside. Now would be a good time to goop on some of this Jasco paint and epoxy remover. We're going to be removing some of the lacquer, and I don't want to goop it from this can across this part of the lacquer, but maybe it'd be better if I put it in this little cup. It kind of smells like freeze-dried shrimp. I don't know if y'all go down to the Asian market and stuff, but they usually have freeze-dried fish, freeze-dried shrimp. I need to make my way over there to the market. They have some bulk quantities of like curry powder and stuff that I like to use a lot. So you put it on kind of thick and then just pray that you didn't get it on the wrong part, or fling a bit over there. I'm going to get scraping on this stuff. That's the old lacquer. See how amber it got over the years? Some guys like to just start scraping away at it. I know I'm not the only one that likes to use the stripper. They originally didn't need a wood-on-wood surface with the old plastic bridge. It just held on by those screws. But now that we're doing a wooden bridge, we're going to need this to be bare wood. So I'll be sanding that down. I'm going to plug all these first. We'll sand it all flush and smooth, and we'll fit the new bridge. I'm going to take this clamping rig apart so you can see it. This cam clamp. Piece of Lexan. It's called a spanner jack, I think. And this one, I think they call that one is that called a scissor jack? Anyways, it's got this little piece of wood taped onto the bottom because there's that little scoop in the brace down there. I just whittled away this little piece of wood that sat on top of that scooped out section. So the back brace is glued. Right now I'm warming up that nut. Got the fan going. Had to put on my little mask there because I figured that epoxy remover was pretty toxic shit. We need to take all the precautions we can these days.
He's gonna pull the nut. Pull the nut. Come on, baby, help him pull the nut. Pull the nut. He pulled the nut. Pulled the nut. Come on, baby, don't pull his nut. Pull the nut. He pulled it hard.
What is it?
Pulled his nut.
Some stretchy stuff. Crazy.
Let's get ready to level those frets. First, we take the big old mill file. Back and forth, getting rid of those dents. First a mill file, and then a diamond file. Next we got a cant file. I'm not saying I can't file. I'm saying this is a cant file. If you know what I'm saying. We'll hog off those little edges. Finish her off with a little bit of steel wool.
A little lacquer thinned with retarder and some vintage amber stain. And we'll touch up some of these.
So this is vintage amber stain mixed in with lacquer and lacquer retarder. It's a real fine brush. Trying to get into those cracks. Take some 150 grit and make that plug that I put in there nice and level. Plus we're going to take this finish off. There was a finish on that bridge. Now we're going to reapply a finish. I've got Kalamazoo brown and black ink. The first mix right there wasn't dark enough, so I added a little more ink. And that's black. Black as a raven's feathers. Look how black she is. Once you put it on black, you gotta wait a day. I'm brushing on lacquer. Those holes are filled in. Now we gotta sand. He's gonna sand the top. Sand the top. Come on, baby, help him sand the top. He's gonna sand. Gonna sand. He's gonna take us down to the promised land.
Alright, already getting pretty close. A little more shaping to do to the bottom. And then I got a plug to make in the inside of the guitar. Yeah, we call it LG-0. I got 2 of the holes made. Just kind of preparing this area here, touching up a little lacquer. This is a unique situation here where I ended up brushing on lacquer, 50% lacquer, 50% retarder. Even quantities, and I just brushed it on with a natural horsehair brush. And it was able to like kind of drop down into all the little cracks in the lacquer and kind of re-amalgamate everything.
Working on the old hole left by the old strap button. First I doweled it, then I epoxied it and sanded it with 220 grit. Added a little vintage amber stain to my shellac mix. Second coat was vintage amber, and then I started blending in a little bit of Kalamazoo brown. I think Kalamazoo brown is good color for this guitar, being that it's made in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Little red mahogany towards the end. Now we're gonna glue the bridge.
Here we are now. Just strung her up. I want to get an idea of what it sounds like now compared to what it sounded like before. I think it has more of a voice. And it has more sustain. I can hear it. The note's lasting longer. Let's hear the before. After. Going down this road feeling bad. Feel now bad luck's all I ever had. Is that bad luck's all I ever had? Lord, Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. These $2 shoes hurt my feet.